Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News, an Indian perspective on All India Radio. This is Renuka bringing glimpses of major developments of the day from across the globe. The headlines. India can never forget the Mumbai terror attack, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the 12th anniversary of the dastardly attack. Israel to collaborate with India in the field of green energy, says Benjamin Netanyahu at the Reinvest meet. New Zealand to move a motion to declare climate emergency. India's Foreign Secretary presents COVID-19 related medical assistance to Nepal's Foreign Minister, Mr. Pradeep Kumar Gyawali in Kathmandu. And cricket, India faces Australia in the first ODI at Sydney on Friday. We begin this edition on a somber note on the 12th anniversary of Mumbai terror attacks. It was on this day in 2018 that terrorists sent from Pakistan laid siege to the city of Mumbai, killing a large number of people, including foreigners. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while paying his respects to the hundreds of innocent lives lost in the attacks, saluted those who are at the forefront of India's fight against terrorism. Addressing All India Presiding Officers Conference, he said India can never forget this gruesome attack.
आज की तारीख देश पर सबसे बड़े आतंकी हमले के साथ भी जुड़ी हुई है। 2008 में पाकिस्तान से आए, पाकिस्तान से भेजे गए आतंकियों ने मुंबई पर धावा बोल दिया था। इस हमले में अनेक लोगों की मृत्यु हुई थी, अनेक देशों के लोग मारे गए थे। मैं मुंबई हमले में मारे गए सभी लोगों को अपनी श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं। इस हमले में हमारे पुलिस बल के कई जाबाज शहीद हुए थे, मैं उन्हें भी नमन करता हूं।
Two Indian soldiers were martyred as terrorists fired indiscriminately at the Quick Reaction Team QRT of the Indian Army in the outskirts of Srinagar this afternoon in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Defence spokesperson Colonel Rajesh Kalia said that being a crowded area, the troops exercised restraint to avoid any civilian casualties and collateral damage. The 71st Constitution Day was celebrated today across India to mark the adoption of the Indian Constitution by the Constituent Assembly. On 26th November in 1949, the Constituent Assembly of the country formally adopted the Constitution of India, which came into force on 26th January 1950. All India Radio commemorates this August occasion with a vignette from the Constituent Assembly debates featuring Sarojini Naidu, famous as the Nightingale of India and member of the Constituent Assembly from the Prasar Bharati archives.
I shall now request Bulbul-e-Hind, the Nightingale of India, to address us not in prose but in poetry.
I have the last word, no doubt, not because I am a woman, but because I am acting today as the hostess of the Indian National Congress, who has so gladly invited those not within her fold to come and participate with us in framing a constitution that shall be the immortal charter of India's freedom.
Chinese Premier Li Qiang will attend the 19th meeting of the Council of Heads of Governments of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO member states, to be held under India's chairmanship on November 30th. Chinese Foreign Ministry today said SCO leaders will hold in-depth communication and exchanges at the meeting. Foreign Secretary of India, Mr. Harshvardhan Shringla, began his two-day visit of Nepal on Thursday. He met his counterpart, Mr. Bharat Paudyal, in the afternoon, discussing various aspects of Nepal-India bilateral relations. He also presented COVID-19 related medical assistance to Nepal's Foreign Minister, Mr. Pradeep Kumar Gyawali. Mr. Shringla echoed Prime Minister Narendra Modi's call for human-centric globalization. He said India will strive to make the vaccine affordable and accessible to all, with the first priority to India's closest neighbors and friends like Nepal. External Affairs Minister of India Dr. S. Jaishankar concluded his two-day official visit to the Kingdom of Bahrain on Wednesday. Dr. Jaishankar thanked the leadership of Bahrain for hosting more than 300,000 strong Indian community in Bahrain and for taking exceptional care of the community during the COVID-19 pandemic. Both sides affirmed to further strengthen their COVID-related cooperation. This is All India Radio giving you the world news. Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, on Thursday said India's renewable power capacity is the fourth largest in the world and it is growing at the fastest speed among all the major countries. Inaugurating the virtual third Global Renewable Energy Investment Meeting and Expo, Reinvest 2020 this evening, Mr. Modi said India is expanding generation capacity and network to ensure every citizen has access to electricity to unlock their full potential.
Foreign investor can invest on their own or collaborate with an Indian partner to set up renewable energy-based power generation projects. India is progressively focusing on innovative bids for supplying 24/7 power from renewables. Solar, wind, hybrid projects have been successfully explored. Our policies are in line with the technology revolution.
The Prime Minister of Israel, Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu, also spoke on the occasion. He reaffirmed Indo-Israeli friendship and resolve to collaborate in the area of green energy.
We don't just want a world free of COVID. We want a future with less carbon and less pollution, a future based on green energy. And that's why I welcome this vital initiative by Prime Minister Modi.
New Zealand will introduce a motion to declare a climate emergency in its parliament. Speaking to the state media, Prime Minister of New Zealand, Ms. Jacinda Ardern, stated that her government has always considered climate change to be a huge threat to the region and it is something they must take immediate action on. The move follows Japan's decision to declare a climate emergency last week in a symbolic vote aimed at increasing pressure for action to combat global warming. Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga had earlier committed to net zero emissions by 2050. India and Finland today signed an MOU for developing cooperation between the two countries in the field of environment protection and biodiversity conservation. The MOU will enhance the Indian and Finnish partnership and support exchange best practices in areas like prevention of air and water pollution, waste management and promotion of circular economy. Bangladesh's Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood said that the government will soon start taking legal action against the online portals and websites which are used to spread rumor and create instability in the society. Speaking at a function in Dhaka on Thursday, he said that action will be taken against those websites which are not providing news but being used to serve personal interest. The Australian government, acting on the Australian Defence Force Afghanistan inquiry report, has issued termination notices to at least 10 Special Forces soldiers. The report had found credible evidence of unlawful killings in Afghanistan. It said there was evidence that 39 unarmed Afghan prisoners and civilians were killed by 19 Australian soldiers during 2006 to 2016. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said on Thursday that the Ethiopian military will begin the final phase of an offensive in the rebellious northern Tigray region. In a statement, the Prime Minister's office stated that the 72-hour period granted to the Tigray People Liberation Front had expired and that the law enforcement campaign has reached the final stage. Now the coronavirus updates from around the world. Thailand's Prime Minister on Thursday said that Thailand is set to sign a purchase agreement for AstraZeneca's potential COVID-19 vaccine. French Health Minister Olivier Véran confirmed on Thursday France could start rolling out COVID-19 vaccines by the end of the year. Moving on to sports, India and Australia will play the first ODI of a 3-match series at Sydney tomorrow. India is celebrating the 151st birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Before we end, let us listen to his favorite bhajan Vaishnavajan by artists from Laos. And with that, we end this bulletin. See you at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.